Good morning, everyone. Nope, good afternoon. It's good afternoon. Welcome to Melinda's Enchanted Cottage, 27th of January, for our Witches Social. I'm not by myself today. Melinda is here. She's just sort of catching up on something that she's working on, and she'll be with us in a moment, but I am going to take just a few minutes to do some housekeeping here. I'm going to put up Melinda's phone number, and as you pop in, as you say hi, make sure you give a little wave or thumbs up or say hello as you're joining us. But here's the phone number. If you'd like to call, you certainly can. 226 maybe 226. Hi. 226-931. My goodness, 931-1419.
Awesome.
I'd love to be able to just do this and leave it up. What we need is like a little bar across the bottom with all the information. That'd be great. We'll get there. One day we'll get there, but today is not that day. Hey, Daff. Hello, April, Charmaine. Some very familiar faces.
Ones the other day, so
Morning so far. So yeah, yep, Lori. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are joining us. I'm glad you're logging in. Today's conversation, again, I have a very blank book going on here, and it's not because we haven't discussed a lot. It isn't because we don't have an idea or a theme of what we're talking about. We just never really bothered writing anything down because it's pretty pertinent. It's pretty fresh in our minds.
for
Feed
the
is
moment.
still cutting in and out, and I do apologize for that. That's part of today's issue, actually, is we have been dealing with non-stop internet issues since we actually got internet. We're paying good money for poor internet service, and we upgraded at a considerable cost of the installation and an upgrade to our service, and the internet feed at our house is gone like within 24 hours.
All morning we have
Nothing.
been dealing with kids trying to go to school. Actually, they missed school today.
Yeah, they got a snow
because our
day.
internet service is down. So
Yep, and that's at our house. We have internet here at the shop as well, and it's mediocre, and so we do apologize. There's not a whole lot we can do about it, and that's actually the kind of the issue that we're going to be talking about today.
The root of our topic
root of
today,
our conversation
started with internet issues.
Oh, it started before then, but that was definitely part of the problem. And the song that's been kind of floating around in the back of my head all day today was "You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em."
Okay, who sings it?
Know when to walk away, know when to run. I have no idea.
I know, because you're like a non-country fan.
Oh, yeah.
So anyone?
Never count your money while you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when
If
the
my
dealing's
dad was
done.
on here, he'd be like, I know this. It's Kenny Rogers.
Was it? Okay. I knew it'd be somebody I'd know. I know of him because of Dolly Parton.
Right. Yes.
And apparently she's a singer too.
Yeah. you're an idiot.
No, she's a great actor. Yeah.
That's it.
Holy moly.
Kenny. Knows Kenny, yeah.
Yeah, we have the same issues here in New Zealand as well. Honestly, I think a lot of it is really just bogged down system. I mean, everybody is online these days.
Everyone's online, whether it be school or shopping or communicating, this kind of stuff. I wouldn't want to be the internet company, honestly.
No. And in all fairness, I'm appreciative of everything that we have, everything that I have. I do tend to get a little funky when everybody else is complaining and whining about it. It makes me resentful. Funky. It makes me funky. Yeah, I pick up on that very quickly.
We actually didn't have internet up until a couple years ago.
A good 4 or 5 years. No internet for us. We just worked off of our cell phones for streaming as minimal data as possible to operate our business. That was about it. And it became problematic. I mean, there were certain things that we needed internet to do.
The kids needed it for school, for stuff.
And it was definitely leaning that way. When my son moved in, he couldn't live without it, so he bought internet, and then we got kind of used to it. When he moved out, we carried it on for a while until we had to cut back budget-wise, so we let go of the internet again. But now, because of the time, the original lockdown, see, there it goes, it just cut out again. Because of the first lockdown, we had no choice but to get internet, because the kids had to go online to do their schooling. And so we did. And then we looked at that as an opportunity to push our business more online as well, and to adjust for the times. So part of us is very grateful. Part of us is a little bit resentful at the same time that this is the new reality, and we're certainly doing our best to work within it. Hi, Amy. It's good to see you on here. Lots of different fiber companies. The problems have only just started since the new 5G came in.
Yeah.
I can't claim as to what the problems are in this area. We don't have fiber where we're at currently. Up until just recently, well, up until yesterday, we were still a DSL through telephone lines, and that was our biggest issue, was that the lines were so old running to our house that it was like all 5 people trying to shove through the same little door at the same time. It just wasn't working. So then we upgraded to cable, which was a new service that our internet service providers offering. And 24 hours of absolutely beautiful internet connection to start up this morning, and nothing is working. It's down, and it's got nothing to do with our...
Still down.
It's nothing to do with our internet provider. It's the cable company now. And I'm like... Come on, how is this possible?
So anyways,
Yep.
Yes, enough about the internet.
Yeah.
They get that.
Yep.
So let's talk about why today's topic. What's it about?
Well, we've been discussing all along about energy, really, and taking charge, taking control of identifying your energy, dealing with other people's energy, all of this sort of stuff. But what happens when you have one of those days where you just start off poorly, start off on the wrong foot, or you just can't seem to get ahead energetically? And this is kind of where I found myself today, starting with not a bad sleep, but sleep interrupted by unpleasant dreams.
Yeah.
And then waking up and going about my morning routine, doing some meditation that for me I saw as got interrupted, and then discussing something that was going on in my life that is all outside of a lot of things out of my control that I really can't deal with, and then coming to then it moved into the internet.
Yep.
Problems with the internet. It's
then
like I can't fix that, and I call and I make the things happen that I can from my end, but then we're like, okay, well, we have to wait for phone calls from the internet providers, so off we go to work. And of course, one of the children needs internet to be able to do an exam today.
Yeah.
So we bring them to the shop, and then they're sitting in my spot. I feel like Big Bang Theory there. Leonard, he's sitting in my spot. And so then, it's been one thing after another, and it's constant interruptions, none of which are good or bad. They are what is life. But then it doesn't take very long before I start feeling frustrated, resentful, melancholic, whatever. Yep. I go to places in my mind which aren't necessarily beneficial. And I even intentionally started off the day to prevent that from happening. But it's like the universe is just saying, okay, are you ready? Are you prepared to deal with everything that you've been talking about? And I'm like, I'm feeling it.
The universe is throwing your own words back at you and saying, now what are you going to do, buddy?
Yep. This is no different than praying for patience. The universe will provide you with more than you're capable of.
I mean, we started out this morning. Jeremy did his typical meditation.
Yep.
Didn't get through a second one that he was working on because I started talking to him.
That's okay.
About something personal that he's going through and dealing with. And from there, it just
even there, it was
like downhill.
three knocks on the bedroom door to to say good morning or hello
couldn't
whatever.
Fit that conversation in because kids wanted our attention. So he's just feeling funky and overwhelmed and not productive. So with that in mind, we couldn't even get the Witches Social topic out. I was asking him what he wanted to do. Did he have any ideas for the Witches Social this morning? We couldn't even get a topic out until like we kept reverting back to the issues this morning, the funkiness, the moments he was having. So we're like, hello, like that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about that moment where you get into that position where energy, meditation, your methods may not just be enough. So, I mean, we pose the question to you guys, what are your methods for getting out of that funky state? And if those simple methods don't work, like your meditation, then what do you do? Like, really, then what do you do? So, I mean, part of it was I had to sit down with you and refocus you.
Well, in all fairness, my method would have been to take some quiet time, just even just a few breaks. But I didn't even have that, and that's fair.
I mean, we're at work.
Sure. So it's customers coming in.
It's customers. It's online stuff. It's people.
Sure.
So, yeah,
it's just a barrage, right?
It's coming all at you. So your typical methods of dealing with this are not available to you at the moment.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do? What do you do?
Yep. We're posing that as a question. We want you to actually weigh in and contribute your thoughts and ideas. Not because I don't have my own or I'm looking for something, but we're really posing this as an idea to kind of get you guys thinking. I think sometimes, and this is what we discussed as well, my old tendency is to assume that tomorrow is going to be better. And boy, that's sometimes a very long time away. To get to tomorrow.
And you forfeit the day, though.
Sure.
Right? Like, I'm very much an in-the-moment kind of person, so I tend to shrug things off very easily.
Yep.
Because I don't want to waste my day, waste my time. So here you're forfeiting the entire day to wait for tomorrow because today's just not up to your standards.
And that's a pattern that has not served me well, because something else I noticed out of this cycle is that I wind up starting to look for all the examples and the reasons why today's a crappy day. So it doesn't take long for me to go, yeah, okay, here we go. Here's the list so far. And if tomorrow's going to be better, let's just make today like uber shitty. Let's look at all the examples as to why today's a bad day. Never once stopping and taking that deep breath and saying, I'm going to reset. I'm going to take a few minutes here and just reevaluate my priorities in life. And sometimes that's all it takes.
So I just want to catch up with everyone.
Definitely.
And then I have a couple other thoughts. Oh, we're not going to tell you that text message.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right. I'm okay. Amy says, I'm not alone. She's having a day as well. Daff, all the way over in New Zealand, is also echoing this sentiment. So there's probably something more to it than just me. We do tend to see these things trend. So it's not surprising. If I'm able to take a shower, April says, I take time and let the water cleanse me of my negativity. Yeah, that's fantastic. The nice thing about showers, most of the time, is that they usually are uninterrupted. I like the bathroom for that purpose. I can go in and shut the door, and people can assume I'm having a bath or showering or whatever. They usually just, somebody's in the bathroom, and they just kind of leave me alone. Sometimes they just, flip the lid down on the seat, and I get a few minutes of my book.
Nice. Yep, there you go.
Breathing exercises, Lynn says, help, or journaling how I'm feeling. My go-to right now, Lynn, is also breathing exercises. I used to journal a lot about the negativity with the assumption for me that it was releasing, that it was letting go. But then I noticed that trend was to actually stop.
About it.
She's already laughing about it. My dad always used to say tragedy plus time equals humor. Some days it's just about waiting until enough time has passed. Amy says, if that happens, I stop, take 3 deep breaths, and tell myself one thing at a time. Remind myself that slow and steady gets it done. And that's a great philosophy as well. Melissa, this is going to make me sound super selfish, but when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I remove myself from everything. I go for a walk, take a nap, take a bath with headphones, anything that gets me out of that space. I've done this even at work. Sorry, we can't catch up here. I'll just go to the bathroom and sit on the toilet and breathe. Yep. When you start every day with pain, it's hard to have a good outlook for the rest of the day, but that's just me. And no, that is a difficult one. Chronic pain takes up a considerable amount of your headspace, but you still always have the freedom to choose how you allow that to change you. And I can, reflect to some extent on that as well. I can relate. Chronic pain is a part of my life, and some days are better than others. I do have the fortunate of that, but sometimes it's just very unpleasant and very uncomfortable to get by, and it's hard to put that out of the forefront of your brain. So I do empathize, and I feel really bad for people who struggle with chronic pain. Yeah. Do I need to know?
No,
nothing
it's
important.
Kids.
Okay.
I'm answering kids because they're trying to do homework. Their friends are sending
Calling
them the homework that was assigned to them because they can't get on the internet. So my daughter's done her homework, but she can't send it to the teacher. So she's like, I don't know what to do. Yep. So they're freaking out. She's freaking out. I calmed her down. She's fine.
It's tough. I for the most part, the teachers are pretty understanding, pretty sympathetic, but you have to see it from their point of view too. I think the internet down is the dog ate my homework.
Right, but I mean, this is Georgia.
And this is legitimate.
It's legitimate for her. She's panicking because she can't get her homework in, and she's very diligent. I mean, the girl's up and done her homework before 11 a.m.
Yep, sometimes before we even leave for work.
So she's panicky right now.
Kim says she has pissy days where too much goes wrong and I have anger. I find that if I write them in my special hidden journal, then I won't take it out on the wrong people. It's good that you've got a method for dealing with it. It's great that you identify it. And I think that is the key here, identifying that these are struggles that you have. It is great that you have a method for dealing with it.
So mine's not so much waking up to a crappy day. It's when people throw
too many curves
into my day. So I'm a very kind of scheduled out person. So then when I have too many curves coming through, I get frustrated and upset, and sometimes need my quiet time. So you guys talk with Jeremy right now because my son is standing here waiting for me.
Who has not acknowledged us all day at the shop, but now that we're
online doing Witches
and he's
Social,
sitting smiling with this big grin like, that's my intention.
He needs us. Yes.
Jen says she likes gratitude journals too. They really put things into perspective. Yes, gratitude is a key part of all of this as well. Would you like to ask it to the... Would you like to pull?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What is...
So, William is doing a math test right now, and we're only on here for an hour, so he's been at this all day. He has today and tomorrow to finish it, but right now, in this moment, William would like to know if I can check his math.
Now do you see how my day has gone?
Oh, he's all done.
That's fantastic.
So it's not that he really wants me to check his math because, let's face it, it's trigonometry and, not going to happen here.
When did they add letters to math?
Yeah, when letters. Is that what trigonometry is?
I don't even know.
Yeah. So it's not that he wants me to check his math. He wants a hug and a pat on the back for completing his math test. So come give your mommy a hug.
I need to make sure.
Come give your mommy a hug. Okay.
Yeah, but you're asking the wrong people.
I love you. Go sit down until I'm done. Thank you. Go sit down, and you can submit it in like 40 minutes. Go sit down.
You have 2 days.
Go check it over, William.
Anywho, getting back to the thing at task right now is
sorry guys.
The live. Yes, welcome to Melinda's Enchanted Cottage. Reggie, hi. Sharon's on too. Hi. Yes, gratitude journals, writing things down is key. We do encourage all of our MEC members, a lot of people, to be able to do this, write things down, document. Sure. It is part of becoming self-aware, self-understanding of what you're dealing with.
So just to catch Sharon and Reggie up, if you just jumped on, We're kind of talking about those moments of frustration when things are like piling up on you, whether it be tasks or energy or just the day. And what are your go-to methods to relieve those moments, right? And yeah, sorry,
Yes.
April. Children love attention.
Oh, don't they?
Yes.
Though? Yeah.
So if you want to share that with us, Sharon and Reggie, like jump on there. Anyone else who hasn't shared, let us know how you combat those days that become overwhelming right from the get-go. So Jeremy's had a morning today, and he's trying to combat his levels of frustration. The world just keeps piling up on him.
And I think what we were talking about before your son came in is what throws you off isn't so much just a rough start to the day, but you're very good at calculating and organizing and planning your mental schedule, your daily routines. I'm going to go here first, do this. On the way, I'll drop this off. Yep. It doesn't take much. A couple interferences there, and then it's like just a hot mess.
I'm like, a hot mess. I give up. I'm done. Forget it. I let the moment go and just move on to something else.
Yeah, but sometimes you can be quite funky over that. Like
I do get funky.
That's your biggest challenge is to...
I think it's when I can't control it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, it's a control thing.
It's a control thing.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Sure. And that's great because there again, it's an identifier of who you are. No different than me admitting that sometimes I default to you know what, I'm just gonna, today's a wash, I'm gonna forget all about it and I'm gonna start again tomorrow. That hasn't served me well, but that's still the nature of who I am.
Yeah.
And letting go of some of these patterns, these structures, these beliefs can be a real challenge that can be really hard to do. And that's where I found myself today was wow, you're better than this. Why are you letting this get to you? And like, because I didn't really give it any consideration. I just defaulted to my normal nature. And to take a moment to just breathe and stop and think. One of my favorite things to do, if I can get that thought in, is to recognize what things are within my control to do anything about and what things I need to let go of. I call it my fix it or forget it perspective. And that's what it came down to with the internet today. It's like, can I fix it? No. I've done everything I can do on my end. Can I forget about it? Well, no, because everybody keeps bringing it up. But realistically, there's only a certain amount of consideration that I can give it, and I just have to sort of let it go.
So these are the moments, too, where you want to change those behaviors.
Yep.
So if you aren't responding well to the situations and you've recognized it, this is a good opportunity to change those behaviors because people run in behavior patterns. It's like when we read tarot, we're reading their patterns, their paths. So people run in behavioral patterns. Most people don't ever recognize them, but those who are capable of recognizing, now is the time to change it in that moment. And it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel odd and out of place, but just do something small to change that behavioral pattern.
Yeah, it's a challenge. And so many of these little patterns are actually created subconsciously or because of non-thought rituals or systems that we put into place, our truths, as it were, of how we function, how we do things. So when something goes out of context, we're unable to tackle that, to deal with it. And that becomes a challenge.
Subconsciously put these patterns into play. Right? So then your body functions through it without you even giving it a second thought.
Yeah, we become defeated by our own inabilities.
We've created that. That's the funny thing.
It is.
We've created this.
Yeah, because in some people, they love the chaos. They love, to use Melinda's example here, she does best, or she feels the most in control when everything goes according to plan. Other people just love the spontaneity. They love the creativity of being able to just sort of beep, 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 bounce all over the place. And maybe they only accomplish 2 things in their day as opposed to us Virgos with, 700 things that have to fall. I consider our lives sometimes like those Fast and the Furious movies where, 700 things have to happen in precisely the right time and order in order for the grand scheme to pull off. And they manage to do it. That's kind of our lives. But in reality, as long as you're getting through the day and you're enjoying the experience, the human experience that is in front of us, that's truly what it should be all about. Kim echoes your sentiments. Her day gets ruined that way as well when she schedules things a certain way and they don't go the way that I planned or expected.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate when new things get thrown in, right? It just throws a wrench into my... It's usually it's usually kids. Like, I'm very well scheduled out with everyone around me. Work is different because it's our creative space, but I'm usually scheduled out with like the school, the drop-offs, the pickups, the dance classes, the karate classes, the work schedules. And then when someone throws something into that mix, it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
why would you do that?
Yep, I'm just going to scroll up
Yep.
a little bit here to
Yeah.
catch up. You guys are contributing nicely.
I
That's
love
great.
when you guys contribute. It's fantastic.
Amy says she likes the idea of fix it or forget it. It's a good way to let go until you can go back to it. I think it's important, too, to recognize that sometimes there's no going back to it because it's something that's outside of your control. There's nothing you can do about it. So to go back to the analogy of the internet, again, nothing I can personally do about it. But I did go back to it and it's okay, you know what, I'm just going to call my internet service provider and see how things are moving along because I know it's still out of their hands, but I am getting a little tired of the frustrations that are going around it. So I felt the need to kind of push a little bit and say, listen, I'm still paying for service that's not working and I just need to... I'm still being kind about it, but you guys need to make sure this gets fixed.
So this happens with people, though, too, because we
does.
even talked... we talked this morning about a certain person involved in my life, and it's a cycle. It's a continuous cycle that I go through where I am trying to fix her, better her, make her a different person. But that opens up a door to energies and vampirism that I necessarily don't enjoy being around. So my heart wants to help and fix, but then my brain is like, don't do this again. So it is a pattern that I've lived, over and over and over again. And I'm about to live it again, right?
Yep.
Like I've put myself out there to live it again. And I'm like, why? Why would I do this? Because I know the inevitable outcome, but it doesn't stop me from wanting to help.
Well, you still have to be free to be who you are.
Yeah.
But you can't be so rigid in who you are that you can't evolve and change either. And I think that that's why these moments are important for us when we get flustered, when we get thrown off. It gives us the opportunity to evolve, to grow. We talked about the meditation. The part that I did get in this morning was fantastic. It was all about positive affirmations, all played to the beautiful background noise of this cello piece that she had written and was playing in the background, and it was beautiful, all related to the heart chakra. And one of the affirmations was, I'm grateful for the lessons that I will learn today. And I made that affirmation not expecting that the lessons were going to be harsh, that they were going to be uncomfortable, that they were going to be difficult, emotional, frustrating, but these are still the lessons that we have. So how do we learn? How do we grow from those? And sometimes we have to be faced with our inner demons, as it were, in order to be able to change them. So again, with your knowledge of what's coming, the inevitability of what's going to come about, how can you be prepared so that when it does, you can take it from a different direction, a different perspective?
Yeah. I don't know on that one.
Yep.
We'll ride the wave and see.
It's not a fix it or forget it.
No.
But because certain aspects are outside of your control, you have to be able to address it in the truth as to what's going on. Sharon says she gets overwhelmed. She has A, B, C, D, E to do. Thinking of everything can be too much. I've learned to take a step back and think, okay, little steps. I'm going to focus on doing A, get that done, and go on to B, etc. That's how I am as well. Very single, purpose-driven kind of person. I'm a man, so that is pretty much a governing factor for me. Multitasking can throw me off. But yeah, some days you just don't have a choice. While you're doing A, B is popping in. The customer C, who you're so grateful for the opportunity to have that relationship and that transaction, jumps in as well. And at the end of the day, it feels like you didn't accomplish anything, but you still did. You got little steps of A, B, and C all kind of done. It can be very challenging to keep up with that. Graham comments here about knowing a family that took their 2 children out of school. I know the family of whom you speak. Yeah. Different people's days go differently from others, mainly because of what drives each of us. And he had to add there was no internet back then. Nope, I know what you're talking about, and yeah, very, very different people, very
Yeah.
different methods for dealing with things and working around things. Jen says she can't help people if they don't want to help themselves. Learned that the hard way. Yep, that can be a tricky one. Funny thing is, we really can't help anybody at all, really. It is a challenge. They're the ones that
Can offer suggestions.
we do. We can give our insights. We can give our thoughts and opinions and feelings. But it is tricky because ultimately it's up to them to evolve, to change, to grow. And all we can do is be truthful and honest in who we are. And I think sometimes that's the biggest task at hand.
Well, it is for us because of what we do, who we are. And there is that aspect where people come to us to find help, to be fixed.
Sometimes, yeah.
Right? So it is a hard thing for us.
And I guess going back to our conversations of social vampirism and energetic people, energetic drains, I guess the difference between the genuine people looking for help versus the vampires would be those that are actually open and susceptible to the suggestions, the insights, the dialogue, the honest dialogue. It's not us judging or saying you need to do this, but it's like, have you considered this, or this is how we would tackle that approach. We try to be very kind about this. Hi, Izzy. Good to see ya. Waving at us there. And Amy's talking about her frustrations used to be insane. I had to learn how to slow down, and it took her a couple of years to retrain your brain. And in so many ways, we know your story, we know what you've gone through, and I'm sure you can see the coin from both sides. And knowing you like the way I know you, I think you're grateful for everything that has happened in your life, because as much as it can be difficult and challenging at any given moment, your positive energy, your positive attitude keeps you in a frame of mind that says, I choose to find joy.
You know, it reminds me of the tarot, learning tarot with the one girl, the blind girl that we have. If she can do it, anyone. Why are we complaining?
Sad excuse have I got in my life?
I think the same way with Amy. I know her story, and I know the hurdles and hills she's had to literally climb to retrain herself in life.
If anybody's qualified to pout in life, it's her.
It's her, right? So shame on us. Shame on you for having this kind of day.
Boy, do I feel like small right now. No.
There you go.
April says having a newborn at home plus trying to homeschool. My son has to check in twice a day. Spouse does swing shift, so having a daily routine has to be flexible. I have a whiteboard on the fridge that I write a few tasks down, and I have to accept that. What gets done gets done. No, I know as a young parent, as a young mom, a good day is a day that you can brush your hair and your teeth in the same day. I can relate. I have my own experiences with that as well. So as long as you can keep that perspective that, today was a good day. I didn't necessarily get everything done I wanted to, but I did my best through the day. I kept my attitude pure and honest, and you know what, even just being honest with myself in these moments and recognizing that I had a rough start to today, but I'm choosing to do better, to act quicker, to be more responsible for my choices, my internal dialogue, all of that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, I'll be proud of myself, as opposed to just saying, well, thank heavens the day is over, tomorrow's going to be better, hopefully, right? That used to be the old me. The new me is recognizing that I can change this sooner, quicker, more effectively. I can take charge, take control. And that's really the epiphany that came about and the discussion that we're having today.
I'm really liking this. Like, I'm feeling grateful for being able to connect with everyone here.
Yeah.
Just after reading April's comment there, like, I'm curious, what are you doing right here in the moment besides just listening and commenting on the Witches Social, right? You have a small newborn at home and a son. Mine are all grown up. They're pretty self-maintained.
Well, you'd think until 2:00 when we log in, and then all of a sudden they need our attention.
But I can brush them off and say, wait until I'm done, wait until I'm done. So what are you guys doing right here in the moment? Like, we're literally sitting in our chairs having this conversation with you guys, but who's multitasking? Who has us on in the background? What are you guys doing? Are you taking that hour for yourself? Or are you sharing it with other tasks that you have to complete? Just curious.
And if you're sharing it with other tasks, shame on you. We need to be priority number one.
No, kudos to you for multitasking, because we are literally just sitting here communicating with you guys. Like, we have nothing else going on right now in this moment.
Yep. Melissa says, how do you combat a day that starts off beautiful and nearing the end of the day something triggers you, puts you in a dark place? That's her biggest struggle at the moment. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to the beautiful moment of the day.
Yep.
Right? It's a bad moment only takes up 5 minutes of your time, 2 minutes of your time, 30 seconds of your time, right? Why would you give away the entire morning that started out beautiful just for that 5 minutes of crap?
Yep.
Right? You have to weigh it out. 5 minutes of crap, or it was a beautiful morning all day today, right? Mm-hmm. Yesterday was a beautiful day. You were outside playing in the freshly fallen snow. Why would you give so much thought and energy to that 5 minutes when yesterday you had a whole day of running around, playing in the snow, having a great moment? Mm-hmm. I'd hold on to those moments and just know that 5 minutes was just 5 minutes.
See, the funny thing is, the old me would have said, well, at least you had a perfect day of beautiful things and it was only the last 5 minutes, whereas me, I got out of bed on the wrong foot and my whole day's been messed up all along.
But no, not terrible.
It's different because what we are doing is we are giving up the freedom and the privilege to be in control of our lives, to say, no, this is something that's beyond my control. I can either fix it or I can forget it and move on. And if it's something you can fix, deal with it, fix it, make it better, make it all right, even if it's just your own mental perception of the situation.
And you still have to recognize the good things. So despite Jeremy's crappy day so far, he had time to meditate, uninterrupted until we had a conversation. We connected today, whether it just be laying in bed, talking, having a conversation. We then got up and went to work together. How many couples can say they get to go to work together, right? We've had a great day. He's just focusing on the not so good portions of the day. So I would say that as well for Melissa or anyone else who started the day out wrong. Look for the finer moments within all that stuff that's gone wrong, right? And I'm not talking about I'm still breathing, I have a roof over my head, but really when I went through my separation, that's exactly what I did. Is I took 5 things I was grateful for, and whenever something went wrong or misconstrued, I just calculated those 5 wonderful things that I was grateful for.
Linda says she's cleaning kitchen cupboards today. Depending on how you look at things, that's either a positive thing or a negative. I love it when the house is coming together, when everything's beautiful. Jen says she's multitasking, working on other witchy stuff.
Very cool. Jen, yeah. We had a great day yesterday talking about her moon ritual she's working on. So I was grateful for that. I said to Jeremy, I'm like, I absolutely love what she's doing, and I'm loving that you included me in it. So I feed off of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I feed off of that kind of stuff.
April says her son's taking a break. She just got the baby down for a nap. This is me time. I'm taking this hour for me.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying us being a part of it. Sorry to intrude, but hopefully this helps. Elizabeth says it takes up as much time as you willingly give it. Yes,
beautiful.
Consuming thoughts. You feed into these things. As I mentioned too, is my tendency. I feed into this when I was sharing about my idea of journaling. You know what, I'm just going to document all this stuff. Or I get into that headspace where it's like, you know what, tomorrow is going to be a better day. I start subconsciously looking for all the negative things to prove and validate to myself that today was a waste
day.
So I ironically wound up sacrificing the day from the very beginning with the idea or the assumption that it's just going to be like that. And was that old saying, if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all?
Yes, yeah.
We buy into these beliefs, and that's unfortunate.
Jeremy just needs virtual hugs, people. Send
good.
them out there. He needs some virtual hugs.
I didn't even tell you. We opened up the shop this morning, and somehow or another, the thermostat for the for the furnace today, the batteries died in it, so it was like 50 degrees when we got in this morning.
It was a little brisk,
I'm
a little chilly.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but it's fixed now. It's warm, and we weren't even open, and we had a customer at our front door.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean,
again,
those are we're counteracting these negative things with the positive things.
It's all in how you look at it.
It's been busy today.
Amy's cooking her dinner in steps and stages.
Yep. What are you having for dinner, Amy?
Yep. Kim's playing a computer game, but we are the main thing, she said. So,
nice. Hey, Linda.
Sharon,
Linda, I'm just curious. Are we cleaning for Imolk? Is that what we're doing?
Or it just needs to be done. Or it's fulfilling and you just love doing that stuff. Sharon says she's got all her Christmas stuff finally down and packed. I'm with you on that. I finally managed to get our Christmas tree down, as you've heard from other...
Yeah, it feels great. I love Christmas. I do. I love Yule. I love Christmas, but I really love when it all goes away and I can have my space back.
Elizabeth, I love this. One of my favorite things is, what if tomorrow you only woke up to the things that you are grateful for today?
Wow. Nice. Mind blown. I love that. That's awesome.
And Melissa had to sneak out there, but we will catch up with her later.
Yep, sounds good.
Thank you. Hugs. Oh, look at all the hugs now. Thanks, guys. I'm good. I am in a good space. I'm not gonna lie.
No, he's not funky.
It was a little bit of a rough go this morning, only because I noticed that these are my tendencies and I wanted to combat that. And sometimes it doesn't take much for me to get flustered. I guess that would be the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And I was well on the path to not giving up, but becoming in a place where I just couldn't keep up anymore.
Izzy, I'm 100% with you on cranking up the tunes, dancing, screaming. I mean, I love to sing. Takes a couple minutes and then instantly changes the frequency. Yeah. So, before the Witches Social today, I just got off the treadmill. But the best part of it is I had the tunes cranked and... it was awesome. I couldn't really sing because I was out of breath from being on the treadmill, but I got to hear the music. So.
Amy's having scalloped potatoes and ham with veggies. What time's dinner tonight?
What time's dinner, Amy? Uncle Graham. Sorry.
Yep.
And I lost it.
1,200 mile away hug. He's watching Facebook and TV while listening to us. So
cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
A couple more hugs there.
A friend actually wrote a book that has for every day something that she was grateful for, and these are the tiny things like snow or looking at the leaves falling and seeing the beauty. And we use this example a lot. It doesn't take much to reverse that mental pattern. It really comes to, you call it your gratitude book.
I call it my gratitude
5 things
list.
If you can find 5 things that you're grateful for, and who doesn't have 5 things that they're grateful for? We use this example all the time. I would do this with people who are coming in for a tarot reading and they're just having a hard time finding that positivity, that joy. 5 things. Okay, so you got a tarot reading today. There's 1. You got to know me a little bit more. That's 2. So all you got to do now is come up with 3 more. You tell me you can't come up with 3 things? And they laugh. And I said, see, you just laughed. There's 3.
I picked simple ones. Can I just get you to scroll back up?
Yep.
I'm just not sure who made the comment about the book. Was this a personal book? Linda.
Yep.
Was this a personal book or a published book? Because if it was published, I would love to know the name, the author. If you want to share that with us on here, that'd be pretty cool. If it's a personal book, that's an awesome idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
And sorry, you can go back down now. I just couldn't remember who made the comment, and I was, wanted to inquire.
Adora sent a hug. Izzy sent I thought it was a shocker symbol. It's a rock on. Different hug, the sun, but it won't go. So, I don't. I have 1 emoji on my phone. That's it.
Yes, it's a kissy emoji.
Little kissy emoji, yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Elizabeth says the secret, you don't. You just keep manifesting shit by focusing on it. Ever notice that if you're running late for an appointment, you hit every red light? Oh, honey, that is my driving experience, period. I joke it's the ransom curse that every light we hit, if it's not red by the time we get to it, it rapidly turns red so that we get stuck behind it.
Yeah, even I notice it sometimes. I'm like,
not
oh
wrong,
my gosh, another
She's
red light.
We're in a hurry.
Like,
let's
come
trade
on.
spots here.
I'll drive, thank you.
I laugh about it. It's not, sometimes it's frustrating, but I just recognize that it's the way it goes. And I'll notice if I get 2 or 3 green lights in a row, I get giddy. I'm like, three green lights.
I'm on a roll.
Oh, the universe is opening for me.
So Linda's telling us that cleaning out her cupboards is therapeutic. Jeremy would agree with you 100%. Yep. I like when it's done. I love when someone's doing it. Not so much when I have to do it.
Wow, published. It's a published book, but it's in Estonian, so she'd have to translate it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to translate that. That's pretty cool, though. Thank you for sharing.
You know what? Just having... I don't know, if you could send us a link to it or something. William says hi. So he's the one that interrupted us early.
He's in the same room as us.
We weren't giving him the attention he needed there.
He's desperately needing our attention.
Yep.
So... he said, hello, Mommy. Hi, William. I love you.
Yeah. That book, actually, that would be pretty cool. Yeah. I would, just because of the connection, would be pretty cool because to get something unique, like that. Even if it's not in a language we could read. I don't know. I'm weird that way. Sunday drivers. Yeah, sometimes that. I don't know. My patience for driving is pretty good, actually. Even if there's a sense of urgency or a frustration around it, I recognize, again, that's one of those areas I can fix it or forget it. I can't do anything about the red lights. I can't do anything about the Sunday drivers. Certainly not without putting people at risk, and I won't do that. So I learned to calmly just kind of do the very best I can with what's ahead of me. That's about it.
I like to be away from all other drivers. I mean, you can ask my kids. I have a wicked potty mouth when I'm driving.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Not cool.
No. Okay.
Kids, Sharon. Yep. Sharon, I did see your comment about earlier. The ages of your kids, and they still need their mommy. So basically what you're telling me is this never ends.
Yep.
And I should know that because I'm very, very close to my parents. And I mean, when it comes down to it, if Jeremy can't fix it for me, Mommy and Daddy can.
Yep. Elizabeth says, not mine. I'm like, hey, the light doesn't get any greener, buddy. My line is, it's the long, skinny pedal if you're confused. That's what I usually use when I'm waiting for somebody who's sitting at a green light, texting usually, or something like that. Izzy, painting all the walls white in my house makes my brain so happy. All of our rooms, all of our house is completely white. There's no colored walls anywhere. That's pretty cool.
So, Izzy, would this be at the new house or the cottage?
Which house?
Which one?
We don't know people who can say I have multiple houses. I have my summer house, my weekend house. I'm not sure.
One day I'll buy you a summer house.
Oh yeah. So any place by the water would be cool, but you're coming from the water going to the city house. So.
And Kim, thank you for acknowledging William. I'm sure he's in a happy space right now, full of smiles. Yep. Yes, I can see him.
We have a comment on stress relief, I'm assuming, for cleaning the kitchen cupboards.
Yep, that's stress relief, Dora, thanks.
Yep, it's one of those bittersweet things. It's like I kind of resent the need to do the task, but I feel so good when it's all done. Anybody watch that Big Bang Theory where Amy was trying to break Sheldon of his obsessive compulsive tendencies, where she would knock on the door 2 times instead of 3, and they'd put, it wasn't Amy, sorry, it was his girlfriend, and she was just working routinely through all these steps to frustrate him and to prevent him from finishing or completing something so that he could evolve and grow. And it was really tweaking him, but then by the end of the day, he went and completed all of those individual tasks, and then that big sigh of relief, he's like passed out on the ground. I was like, oh yes, that's how I feel when things like that get done.
So thank you for the link,
thank you,
Linda. Yeah. And I do want to say, yesterday with our topics of the 5 love languages, I think it was Elizabeth who posted a link of how to recognize your love language. It was like a little quiz or something. Nice. I think it was Elizabeth. If I'm wrong, just let me know. But whoever posted that, thank you so much. And jump on the link, guys, and test it out. I think that's amazing that you guys are contributing like this. It's fantastic.
Oh, now here's an interesting question, because Elizabeth says, ha ha ha, gas is on the right. I'm going to ask Daphne in New Zealand, is the gas pedal on the right or the left over there? because while I was in England for some time, and I know that in England they do drive on the opposite side of the road, as do several countries. I never actually looked to see what side the gas pedals were on, whether they were the same, or whether they were reversed as well, because I know the steering wheel's on the wrong side. I figured that out when I went to sit down in the car, and there was a steering wheel in front of me, and my cousin laughed, and I had to switch over to the other side. But I think I was a little rattled because I almost got hit by a car because I was looking the wrong way when I crossed the street. So, yeah, no, it's just an interesting. I never really looked to see how the pedals were laid out. So I'm curious. So
okay.
we'll pose that.
No, I love.
Since we're here,
I love this.
About it anyway.
This conversation went from having nothing this morning to everyone contributing and making it flow quite well. So thank you guys for contributing. We love this.
Yep, it's a fun way of tackling today.
Do you feel good?
Oh, I do. Yeah,
you feel good.
I was
Yes.
good. I was sitting here with my coffee before we started. Late. It was like 1 o'clock by the time I kind of sat down and got my book, and I was working on something else, but walked away from that. Just sat down with my book and my coffee and just kind of puttered away and allowed my mind the freedom to explore and to take that deep mental breath that I was definitely yearning for. And so feeling much better already by the time we got started.
I'm on a roll today. I'm just loving it. I'm pounding things out. Like, we've ordered stuff. We're accomplishing things. Yep. I'm feeling very successful today.
That's actually something that we discussed as well, was the recognition that the freedoms that we have in our business,
yes,
we kind of take for granted because other people, specifically
franchise
entrepreneur that we are friends with, who's a consistent customer and a routine friend of ours. We were just kind of mentally working through the differences between our businesses, and in some ways the things that I yearn for and appreciate with her business, the ability for a consistent pattern, a repetitious nature, all of those sorts of things, I speculated that she might find very mundane and boring, and might be looking at us saying, wow, the freedom to be able to just go where you want with your business is amazing. And our struggle is, wow, we have to figure out where we're going at any given time, any given moment of our. That can be a lot of work, a lot of exhausting.
It's always
It'd be nice
work.
if somebody could just tell me what to do. I kind of rely on you for that.
I'm okay with that.
It's usually not a problem.
That's right.
It's like, I
got this.
I updated your to-do list, by the way. It's those 5 pages over there, and I'm like,
You make me sound so bad.
No. Your ability to think and dream is faster than my ability to catch up. But no, it's just a unique perspective on how the differences that we find attractive or appealing in the other person aren't necessarily the truth of what that reality is.
We were told this as kids, though, growing up, that just because you see something in the other person that you prefer or you would like to have, whether it be a physical feature or something monetary, you have to think about them because they're looking at you and they probably want something that you have, whether that's a physical feature or monetary value.
I'm just catching up on some of the posts here.
He's in Long
we got
Point.
Some agreements.
That's awesome.
Long Point. So you're painting Long Point, Dora. No, it's giving other people's other drivers white for when you're driving. I think that might be a typo. I'm not catching up on what that meant. We can stay at Long Point anytime. Oh, there you go. We'll leave the kids at home. Amy is Sheldon's girlfriend. Penny is the neighbor. Thank you.
Yes.
I was thinking literally it was Penny that was doing this, and then I remembered partway through the illustration that it was his girlfriend Amy that was walking him through this process.
And Elizabeth sent the link on the 5 love languages. That's awesome.
That was her. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Elizabeth. And we're still waiting to hear. Maybe Daphne's off by now. She was having internet
we dropped
difficulties.
Off. Yeah.
And we've kind of popped in and out as we've gone. So sorry about that, everyone. It'll get better.
Has anyone watched the videos not live?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm curious, does it do this? It pops in and out while it's not live,
we
or
miss
is it a
pieces
full
of the
video?
or is it a full video for people who've watched
Just
it?
curious, because I've never actually rewatched it. I've never went through and watched it again.
Yeah, because we lived it. Why would we do it again?
Yeah.
We might have to do that just to see. Okay. Anything else we wanted to tackle today? I think that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of what we wanted to get across. Jen says yes, but I'm not sure what the yes is in reference to. Elaborate, Jen. Let us know what that was in reference to. It's frustrating because you guys have to type it out, whereas we just get to babble on. That was supposed to be what for. Use voice to text and don't. It stops and starts and stops and starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Oh, they haven't popped in or out. Okay, so it's a constant feed afterwards. So
that's nice to know.
If you're having a hard time watching and keeping up with the live, you can catch it up through our live video, or our full video afterwards. So thanks for that, Jen. That's good to know. And Kim agrees with that.
And send us your topics. Did anyone else lose the video? Yeah, it bounced out, Sharon. Even on our end, it bounced out. We can see it.
Yep. So you do have the privilege of being able to watch it again afterwards and catch up on the bits that you've missed out on. So
yeah. And it was all consistent, Kim.
Okay,
Thanks for letting us know. That's good. Good to know.
I think what I'm aiming for is in the future, it's going to be streamed through multiple. So Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Yeah.
So I can do it once and it will cross post to multiple platforms. And then maybe you'll have the freedom to be able to find something that's a little more consistent. Yeah, it shows that it just kind of dropped out there. I probably need to give our internet service provider another phone call.
Instead of money?
Well, I don't know. It's really funny because I can tolerate poor internet for months and months and months, and with the promise that they're fixing it. But if I'm a couple days late with a payment, they're quick to shut it off.
Yes.
Our poor internet. But yeah, no, hopefully that's something that we can get resolved and we'll be able to do without much difficulty here. So thank you, everybody, for the patience.
Thanks for coming in today.
And
thanks for joining us.
Opened your mind in some way. That's really all this is about. As we enjoy the social event, the social opportunity. It's nice to see the interaction between people, not just communicating with us, but with each other on this post as we're doing this live. And then we do get to see afterwards the people who are joining us later as their comments as well. Jen says she has 7 more to watch to get caught up. She's loving them. Great.
I'm glad you like them. I'm glad you guys are all having a blast with this.
Yeah, well, we are too.
We'll get into some different topics coming up, and I don't know.
If there's anything you guys specifically want to know our thoughts on, weigh in. Tell us. It's not like we can't come up with fresh ideas and topics, but some days it's definitely easier than others. Some days it's just natural and flows. Other days it's like, well, what are we going to talk about today? What do you want to tackle?
Well, it's about you guys too, right? So if we're always generating the topics, maybe there's something you guys want to do.
Yeah.
So
maybe tomorrow we'll talk about how life's like at Izzy's beach house.
Maybe we'll go down to Izzy's beach house and see what life is like.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us again today, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow at 2.
Blessed be, guys. Love you.